you ready for an unforgettable adventure? Join us as we take you on a 2,400 mile round trip of our first season from Kentucky to Florida and back to Kentucky.
So this week's episode, we are going to talk about everything that we've done so far.
Yeah.
A video about how much things cost to do the entire trip.
It was about 5 months, and we were asked a lot of questions about how much it cost and just general things that we do because it's such a different lifestyle. And so we wanted to just tell you guys a little bit about it.
It was 2,400 miles.
Yeah.
It's a lot of miles, it is.
Now, this trip consisted of us coming from Kentucky, going down to Florida, and then back to Kentucky. So that was a 2,400 mile trip.
Mind you, this was our first real trip. We had not been on the road. We had, done a few test runs at home, but this was our first leaving home. And we didn't just leave home, we left home for, like I said, 5 months.
Yeah, so speaking of that, let's take it back all the way to before we even had a truck and a trailer.
Oh yeah, the beginning.
Yeah. We needed a truck to get on this journey.
We found a really good deal on a Chevy 2500 HD. It's a 2016 LT, 4-door, 4x4. It was in our price range. It looked cool. So we went and picked it up. It was in Ohio. We had a great stay at a wonderful little hotel down there.
What a great truck.
It's a great truck, it is.
It is gas.
It's gasoline, 6.0 Vortec. We have to find the trailer to go with it. So through lots of research, and I mean lots, we've been looking at trailers for years, 3 years. We finally found one that met all of our needs. And now we've got a really good camper and a really good truck. I remember getting the camper, we went all the way to Tennessee to get it. We picked it up from there and took it home. It was really nerve-wracking. I'd never done anything like this before.
I have also not towed it.
He's gonna.
Is anybody was wondering? February 25th is the actual first day that we moved into the camper, and we pulled it to a local campground named Lincoln Lodge RV Park, and we'll show you that there.
We'd stayed at Lincoln Lodge quite a few times, and it's a good park for what it's worth. And after there, we left. We went to Alatoona, Georgia. So Alatoona was about 5.5 hours on our first drive. We
misjudged that.
Yeah. We should have went about 4 hours, maybe 3.5, but we went 5.5. It was 305 miles. Mm-hmm. It was $54 for the one night.
With Good Sam discount.
It was Good Sam discount, 10% I think. And it had security and a gate. It's a nice park, it is. You should check it out if you're in the Georgia area. Yeah, it's pull-through concrete pad. They had a lot of stuff that we didn't check out because we'd stayed one night. And we got there when it was dark. Needless to say, we made it safe. And we left there and we started our journey southward to Florida. And then we got to Florida, North Florida. We stayed at a place called Ocala North. It was in a town called Reddick. It was a beautiful park, just manicured to the T. Just everything was nice. The grass blades were clean, like that. It was just a nice place to stay. We stayed 2 nights. It was like 114 for the 2 nights. And we would definitely go back here. We're gonna go back here. And if you haven't been there, take your time, check it out. That's one that they really keep nice. Ocala North.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the end of the month.
Okay, so this is the February breakdown. Now, keep in mind, we left February 25th. So we did not spend much time on the road in February.
Yeah.
But regardless, But anyways, we're going to put a screenshot here to show you what the expenses were for that month. Now, in February, the total ends up being $751.54. So we spent $216 on campground fees, spent about $330 on fuel. And our food and supplies were $205.54.
Yeah, so not too bad the very first month, but when you consider it's only 3 days, that's a little high. So we had our sights set on going a little lower than that. That was our sights. But reality, that's where our sights were.
Days 5 through 8, we stayed at Encore Winter Quarters Manatee in Bradenton, Florida. The trip from Ocala North to Winter Quarter Manatee was around 149 miles, and it took about 2 hours and 12 minutes. So that day was great.
It was great. We got to our park in a really good time, but when we got there, we were put to our first test. They put us in a parking spot that was almost unmanageable. The park help crew came out and said they had very little hopes of anybody parking there. And then I magically got it in where no one else could.
This wonderful couple came out that had worked at the campground before, and they saw, we were probably struggling a little bit, and
Ronald and Sherry.
And I don't know if that was their name. Was it?
Something.
Anyways, I'm so glad they came out because we really did need.
Yeah, we were not just noobs. We didn't really have any real practice.
Us just stand back there and just smile because I don't know what to do.
It doesn't matter what she says. I'm not going to listen.
So that is a part of Thousand Trails, so we didn't pay any money for that.
Yeah.
Well, what it cost for your campground.
Yeah.
Not campground.
We paid our dues, but the site was free for us, and we stayed 4 nights there. So we got to really kind of take a breath, kind of catch our breath, and kind of dig into what we were doing there. And we didn't know what we were doing, but we were learning, and it was fun. It was exciting. I remember every moment of it.
I remember looking out and seeing palm trees, and it was just magical.
We came from Kentucky during wintertime in February, and it's gray, and there's no leaves, and there's no colors. And when we showed up in Winter Manatee, it was full of life, and it's just animals everywhere. And Lily just loved it. It was great. We loved Winter Quarters Manatee, except for the spot. The spot was
a little challenging.
Really challenging. But we got it. We made it. We made it out of there. We were just noobs. But I just remember being challenging.
But if you didn't get that spot, you may have different feelings about it then.
Yeah, if you got a good spot, it would have been a great park. Because it was a great park. It is a great park. If you could go there, you should. We're afraid to, though. Go ahead, next one.
Okay, so after we left there, we went over to Thousand Trails Orlando because we still have some time that we could use in the park system there.
Thousand Trails Orlando.
So day 8 through 13 was spent at Thousand Trails Orlando. And
was that a week? I think it was like a full week.
It was 5 days.
5 days. This park was huge. It had 1,100 sites, 1,118 or something. It's a massive park.
It was. I enjoyed it there.
It was great too. They have a lot of employees that, not 1 or 2, but like 20 that lead people to their spots. And apparently there's a lot of people that know about this park. Anyways, we had a great stay there. They have so many amenities. Babe, the amenities are crazy. So the drive from Winter Quarters Manatee to Thousand Trails Orlando was about, 99 miles. Almost 100. And then we realized that's our sweet spot. Right around 100 miles and we're good to go.
Yeah. That took about 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Yeah, it was an easy drive. The roads were 3 lanes. Lots of traffic. If you can't handle traffic, then don't do any of this. Because Florida's covered in traffic. That's what Florida has. Ants and traffic. And they got a lot of sandy beaches too. It's really nice down there, actually. Okay,
Florida.
so we had a great time in Thousand Trails Orlando. It's an excellent park. You should check it out. But from there, we went to
the Outpost.
Day 13 to 20, we went to the Outpost. And it was out of the Thousand Trails park system, so it was when we booked. When we got there, the park was nice enough. The sites were clean, and there was right next to a lovely body of water. It was really pretty, actually. But that's the infamous park where I fried our ECU. Eek! And it was my fault, and I take responsibility for it, and I paid the price for it. It's about a $1,000 repair, so keep that in mind when you fry your ECU. Don't do it. Yeah, so for the week, it was $323. It was day 13 to day 20. It was a reasonably priced park, and it was a nice park, too. We got there, and the bugs came out. There was a mayfly mating season. You should check that video out.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That was too much. I can't live in those conditions.
My wife is a non-insect person, so that wasn't very fun for any of us. The truck was broken, the insects were coming down, everybody's freaking out. It's like, what do you do?
I was hungry. It was just bad news. I was ready to quit RV life.
Yeah, we didn't, thank God. Amen to that. So, after we left the outpost, we went to a place called Encore Pioneer Village. This park was happening. They had all the activities and all the amenities of a major city, metropolis. They had dancing. It was the most happening park we'd been to. And we stayed there 2 weeks. That was our first 2 weeks in a park. And it was a nice park. Had a lot of traffic. There was a lot of vehicles. So we didn't feel very safe walking Lily around, because she likes to just run. If you didn't have a little toddler running around, this park was great. Yeah. You could meet 25 people every night you're there. So that was really cool. They had a lot of activities. Okay, so how long of a drive was that, babe?
The drive from the outpost to Encore Pioneer Village was 103 miles. So that took us about 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. That wasn't that bad.
The roads there in that park are very, very narrow, so know that going in.
Yeah, that was the thing. The side streets is where we parked, and we parked on just a golf cart, really.
Just
a golf cart path. It was very small.
But again, that one didn't cost us anything because it was in the $1,000 package. So there's a lot of money there.
Ching! I got a ching sound there. Okay, so after Pioneer Village, we went to a place called the Bay Bayou, out of the Thousand Trails Park System. So we picked it again. We picked it anyways, but this park here was also a very nice park. They had a gated entry, real nice water features. It was well kept, well maintained. They mowed the yards. The trees were manicured. There was shade everywhere. Dog parks. It was a cool park. It was 134 miles. Oh yeah, and that's where we went to.
Honeymoon Island. Now that had been on my bucket list for many, many years, so I was so excited to go to Honeymoon Island. So if you haven't seen our little short about us taking Tonka to the dog beach, we will link it in the description below. But it was a lot of fun. You should really check that out if you're in the Clearwater, Dunedin area. But the price of the resort was not so thrilling at $490 for the week.
Yeah, that was our most expensive park yet. We know it's not really high, but I mean, now we know that. But when we booked it, we're like, goodness, this is expensive. But for what it was worth, that was a really good park. So yeah. So
we would go back.
Thumbs up to you, baby. We did a video on it. Check it out. Ching.
Okay, so now it is time for the March breakdown. 1 full month of what did we spend. Now, before I put this on the screen, I want to say, we were not saving money. We were very excited that we just hit the road.
Frugal is the word she's looking for. We were not frugal.
Yes, that's right. So
we spent a little excessively.
Going into that, now you know. So let me put this on the screen for you real quick.
Wow.
So in March, we spent $5,019.35 that month. So campgrounds ended up being $901.62. Okay. So then let's get into food. We went out to eat a lot. So that month for food we spent $1,729.55. Oh.
Very, very good. That was a very tasty month. We gained a few pounds there.
Yeah. Okay, then
what'd you do with your money? We ate it.
So now this category is not typically this high, let me say it that way. So our repairs and maintenance ended up being $1,067.64.
Truck repair.
$900 of that was to get our ECU fixed. So
this guy right here.
we spent $31.60 on entertainment, and that includes like our tickets to the state park for Honeymoon Island, and really anything else we do entertainment-wise.
Anything that's entertaining, we do it.
Yeah.
And it costs money.
So, for laundry, we spent $70.50. And for supplies, and that includes our household supplies, TP,
We need that.
tank cleaners, stuff like that, deodorant, shampoos. That all came up to $572.31. And then we spent $304.33 on fuel. So, our cell phone plans have hotspots. So, internet, we ended up spending $246.80. And then we spent $95 on our storage unit because we just couldn't throw everything away.
Yeah. So we left Pioneer Village and went to a place called Cloverleaf for 2 weeks. That place had the indoor pool. The Cloverleaf Park was only a 51-mile drive. It took us an hour and 2 minutes. So think about that. An hour and 2 minutes, and you're at this place with this real tall, beautiful trees, this beautiful park, all the amenities of all the parks. It's got an indoor pool, and it took us an hour to get there. And it was completely free for 2 weeks.
And we did feel comfortable walking around this park.
Yes, this park had less traffic in it. It had gated entry after dark. It was a nice park, and we would go back there. So Cloverleaf was worth it. It was a good place. Brooksville, we ate at every restaurant in Brooksville. Every single one of them. There wasn't one we didn't eat at.
Aren't you excited to see how much money we spent in April?
Yeah, we didn't cook out. We didn't cook once. Day 36 to day 50 was the Cloverleaf RV Park. The next one is day 50 to 57, which was 1 week, was at the Clearwater RV Park. Now, this park had all the amenities. We were parked right in front of a playground, which was very convenient for us because of Lily. I mean, we were literally 10 feet from it, so that was really convenient. It's a good park also. It's nice. It is. It's a good park. Nobody was there for us when we checked in, but we didn't know that was normal. It snow happens all the time.
we were like, what is
there's nobody here. Because that's what it is. What are you talking about? Anyways, now we know. That place was about 480, I remember. It was about 500 after taxes. And it was worth it. Another park that was worth it. Now, I don't know how far it was because she didn't write it down here, but it doesn't matter. It was a little bit, and we drove there. We got there.
Okay. Now, I know you're so excited. Okay, April's breakdown. Let me put it on the screen.
Bing.
Okay. In April, we spent $3,884.84. Our campgrounds, we spent $567.94. So, woo!
Not bad.
Celebrate.
Think about that as rent. So we spent $570 or $567 on rent.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah.
Woot to you, babe.
Good job that month.
And we were exploring America.
Okay, so now let me move on to food. Food, we did a little better this month. After seeing the amount that we spent in March, we were like, oh my goodness, let's try to do a little better here.
And like I said, we ate at every single restaurant in that city.
So, we ate off the value menu, and we spent a total of $1,669.36.
You saved $100 just eating off the value menu? Yes.
Okay. Now, next, repairs and maintenance was only $110.32.
Oil change.
Yeah. And then entertainment, we spent $43. Laundry cost us $53.75. Household supplies, that month we spent $850.
That was when we bought everything we needed, from sprays to lubes for the camper to truck stuff to food. And it was the entire month, so that's why that one was higher. And I don't know how we afforded it, to be honest.
Okay. Now, for fuel, we only spent $250.06.
That you saved some there, yeah. Okay.
And that ended up being $245.33 to try to stay connected. And that is the breakdown for April. So we saved a little bit.
Woohoo! April was fun. Now on to the fun stuff. So we just left Clearwater RV Resort, and we went to a place called Encore Tropical Palms. Now, this place looked cool in the pictures. So of course, it's in Kissimmee, right, a mile from Walt Disney World. We had to pick it, so we picked it, and we got there. Boy, were we happy we did. This park was our overall #1 favorite. Tropical Palms has the best location you could possibly hope for in an RV resort. It is also a beautiful park. It's big with all the amenities, and all the amenities are nice. I can't find a single flaw with Tropical Palms. I'm in love with it.
The entrance, the road that you have to turn in on, because when you turn in, there's an amusement park there.
Yeah.
And it's a smaller road.
Old Town.
So with the road that you have to turn in on,
It's a thin road, and you will, if you aren't prepared, you will curb check. Because it is just a single lane pulling in there, and if there's a car at that light, it's tight.
some rigs are long.
Some rigs long. Our rig was long. We made it, but we made it with inches. And I pushed it to the very, very limit. That lady thought we were going to hit her, and we just barely missed her. Whew. Anyways, other than that, Tropical Palms was great. We stayed there for 2 weeks, and it was right after the season kind of ended for all the snowbirds, so we had the park to ourselves. It was great. We went to the pool and played in the pool with Lily. I mean, it was an awesome park, great park.
Yeah, the kiddie pool.
Miniature golf. Yeah, there was all kinds of little walks we took in that park. There's a fountain out with this really cool look to it, and the sky was pretty every night. It's a great experience. We're absolutely going to go back to Tropical Palms. If you want our opinion, for me, that's my favorite park.
Tropical Palms is really recommended from us.
And it was only 84 miles from Clearwater, so it was an easy ride for us too. So it was great. All around, thumbs up. After Tropical Palms, we stayed at a place called Sun Outdoors, Orange City, and it was day 72 to 79. It was 1 week. It was 51 miles. It was 1 hour and 2 minutes from our location at Tropical Palms, and it was only $260 with the Passport America discount. So this place, on paper, was really nice, and they needed some repairs on some of their roads. I remember the roads being
but as it
bumpy.
turns out, all the roads are pretty
Yeah, and we've learned now
in need of repair. So
maybe that was just a normal park.
It just was a regular place to stay for a week, and it was affordable. So days 79 through 86 was spent at Sunshine Holiday Daytona. And since we just got back from Daytona, we kind of knew what to expect, which was neat.
We did. In our little video, we pointed out, hey, look, there's the restaurant we ate at. We didn't say that. We said, hey, look, there's something. I can't remember the name of it, but you'll see it in the video. We pointed it out because we were just there the week before, and here we are staying. So that drive was just 33 miles from the spot we were at.
Yeah.
So it was days, like you said, 79 to 86. It was 2 weeks, Sunshine Holiday Daytona, and we got a good spot there too. That was right at the entrance to the park.
Really close to the bathhouse, and the laundry room was right there, so that was nice. It was also kind of lit up, so you could see what was going on. If you don't like things being lit up at night, it's not the place, not the spot for you, the site for you.
Yeah, we were parked at the like a circle, and we were parked like pointing into the circle, but we were touching the bathhouse with our camper. We enjoyed that stay. Again, that was a fun road there because of how many bumps run it. We were starting to see a theme now. There's bumps on all these roads.
Okay, now for our 4-hour May breakdown. Put it up on the screen. How do we do for May? We spent $4,323.16 this month. $744.83 of that was spent on campgrounds. This month we did a little better again on food, and we only spent $1,579.82.
The real dollar menu started kicking in there.
So yeah. For repairs and maintenance, this month we spent $371.96. A big chunk of that was for our power supply that melted.
It was a cord, extension cord, our power cord, fried to the surge protector. Completely melted to it. It didn't turn off either. The power ran the whole time. So it didn't protect anything at all. It just basically caught fire. Didn't catch fire. We unplugged it. Anyways, that cord's garbage. We threw it away. The surge protector threw in the garbage. We had to go buy another one. Did another cord, another surge protector. Those were both very expensive items. They weren't very expensive, but they weren't free.
They kind of are. Yeah, they kind of are.
And we've got 2 quality ones now, and they work great. Here we are. Of course, they didn't light that's providing.
Okay, moving on. We spent $37.97 on entertainment.
We weren't very entertained that month.
We spent $59.75 on laundry.
We had clean clothes though.
And then we spent $921.14 on supplies. Oh.
What you do is you have your money and then you spend it. And that's what that category
Probably
is.
clothes.
Like, what are we going to go do today? That's that money.
On fuel, we spent $280.36.
That's not that bad.
Now for internet, we did a grand total of $223.33.
For internet.
For internet. Okay.
For a month.
Yeah. And so our storage unit, that price of that went up because everything goes up, and that's now $104. But
yeah, so our prices overall went up, but we ate less. So we lost a little weight that month.
$4,323.16.
Our next spot that we went to was day 93 to day 107. That was at the Encore Southern Palms. And this was about 90 miles from where we went. So it was only about an hour and a half drive. It was also 1,000 Trails. We stayed 2 weeks there. We were also parked at a premium spot. The gentleman that was there that helped us back in, he drove us through the park, showed us exactly where it's at, even offered to help me park it. And he was a really nice guy. The people there were great.
They get an award for exceptional customer service.
The best customer service we've had was at the Southern Palms. Not to say anything was bad at the other ones, but
Right.
this guy was exceptional, very friendly, and willing to go out of his way to help you, which is what most people want. Anyways, we would recommend the Southern Palms Encore too. Again, it was snowbird season had ended. The park was virtually empty. There were just a few families with kids, a few dogs, and the people that lived there.
We had a large site. It was very big.
We had a huge site, and there was nobody in the next 10 sites, and then we were on a corner. So we had like a football field. We could have played football.
That was really cool.
We could have played Frisbee.
And that was day 93 through 107.
I already did say that. That was also in a town called Eustis, and we haven't made a video about Eustis, but here are a few of the nice little images we did capture from this town. It is a lovely little town. So Southern Palms was the last place that we were going to stay at in Florida. So we
Time to make our way back to Kentucky.
Time to make our way back, round tripping it. So we went to a place called the Love's Travel Stop in a town called Cordell, Georgia. Mm-hmm. We had watched a few other YouTubers go to this place, and they'd recommended it. And they said it was worth it, and we would agree with that assertion.
It's a good place to stop off and stay. It felt safe.
It was fenced in. Yes, it was next to a truck stop and a freeway. So if you can't deal with noise, it wasn't incredibly loud either. It was just somewhat noisy. It was just regular sounds. If you have your fan on, you can't even hear it.
Yeah. And also, if you really like gnats drinking out of your eyes, it's a good place to go.
They had a gnat outbreak, and it was eyeball drinking day, so they really drank out of our eyes a lot. So you can imagine what that was like. Lily got to play in the fountains, and
There was splash pad.
There were kids there all over the place. In fact, there were just 100 kids running around just being kids. And it was really, I would absolutely stay at another Love's RV stop. They are thumbs up in my mind. We'll go back. It was not expensive. It was a 269-mile drive that day. You see, we had learned not to do 300. So we started to learn. It was a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, that was okay.
So after the Love's RV stop, we stayed another week. It was day 108 to day 114 in a place called Hawkins Point, Georgia. This was it was a nice park. It was well kept. The neighbors were nice. It wasn't a big park, but we did little walks every night. There was no traffic in there. It was a safe park. It was, like I said, it was safe. It wasn't that populated. It was 249 miles. It was a 3-hour, 40-minute drive, and it did cost us $366. So it was a medium range park, but worth it. The town was a very small town. I think we had to drive pretty far to get anything.
Not like lately.
Oh, I remember what it was. It was fine, just bumpy. So we started. The theme was becoming more and more. Everything's bumpy everywhere. Every road in now just the interstates. Every road in America is filled with potholes.
Yeah.
The next one, we're just gonna roll with it. The next weekend we went. It was day 114 to day 116. That's 2 nights. We stayed at a place called Dad's Bluegrass RV. Yeah, you heard it right, Bluegrass, the old state of Kentucky. We made it back home, and we stayed about 90 miles away from home at the southern tip of Kentucky at Dad's Bluegrass RV on Father's Day of all days. And we did that randomly. Just didn't even know it was Father's Day, but here's that. Wink. Anyways, that was a good park. We noticed it was a lot different because it wasn't Florida after snowbird season. It was regular camping season in Kentucky, and that park was happening. There was people flying around, fishing, families riding. It was a good park. If you have a family and you're looking to be entertained, it's worth checking out. So after Dad's Bluegrass RV resort, we finally made it all the way back home, full circle to the Lincoln Lodge.
Okay, so day 116 to 135 was spent at Lincoln Lodge RV Park, and that was where we originally started. So Kentucky is our home base, and we decided it was time to come back and see everyone. I do have a son that I missed, so it was great seeing him again. We will show some of the footage there of that. But to wrap this trip up, this trip was a grand total of 2,410 miles.
Yes, guys, to go full circle from Kentucky to Kentucky was 2,400 miles, and we enjoyed every single one of them. We'd do it again, absolutely.
Yes, we would.
So season 1, we learned a lot. I mean, a lot. We learned a lot. We've still got a lot to learn, and we're going to do it for a long time. But all in all, babe.
Yeah, we did it.
Success. Good
So
job
now,
on you.
so. All right, everyone. Are you ready for June's breakdown?
The last breakdown.
June.
The final breakdown.
Okay, so in June, we spent $4,854.99. So, went back up a little bit. Yes, because we had to leave the 1,000 Trails network. So when we do that, we have to pay more.
Yeah, you have to pay each campsite, so we paid a little bit more for campgrounds.
So, with that being said, out of that $4,800, $1,189.73 was spent on campgrounds. Then on food, we really did a lot better this month, and we spent $1,417.09. For repairs and maintenance, that was $178.38. We spent $40 on laundry. We spent $1,005.61 on supplies. We spent $568.14 on fuel. We had to come back to Kentucky, so.
That was an expensive fuel budget.
Yeah. So for internet, $352.04
For internet.
for internet that month. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about is our storage unit, and that was $104. So again, that wraps it up at $4,854.99 for June. That's the no.
So, babe, what did you learn in this trip we took? This 2,400 mile Kentucky to Kentucky.
Yeah, so we learned a lot. We learned that we don't like U-shaped dinettes. This right here that we're setting in, we don't like those.
Yeah, turns out there's a lot of things we know we don't like now.
We know that we want a bedroom with a slide, an east to west bed.
We once called an east to west bedroom, and we want something called a dual suite. But now we saw this really cool model called the Cruise Light 29 View, and that's what we want. So go check that out. It's really cool. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around to the end. We really appreciate it. If you thought the video was entertaining, throw us a like. We'd really appreciate it. Hey babe, where are we going?
We are going to the Hershey RV show in September, so make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that episode.
See you then.